All right, today we're jumping into a huge paradox that's affecting pretty much every young professional in India. It's this wild story of massive potential, but also this really puzzling disconnect. And trust me, by the end of this, you're going to see this isn't a crisis. It's actually your biggest career opportunity hiding in plain sight. So think about this for a second. India is churning out millions of super ambitious graduates every single year. But if you talk to any hiring manager, they'll all tell you the same thing. We just can't find the right people. So you've got people who can't find jobs and jobs that can't find people. What is going on here? And to give you a sense of the scale we're talking about, over 65% of India's entire population is under 35. This isn't just some random stat. It's a tidal wave of young talent flooding the workforce. And that makes this whole puzzle one of the most critical economic questions of our time. Now, it's really easy to look at a situation like this and just call it a jobs crisis, but it's not. The problem is actually much, much deeper. It's something that's happening in that space between the college classroom and the corporate office. What we're really looking at is a skill crisis. So let's dig into the actual numbers. Okay, get ready for this because these numbers are pretty stark. Multiple reports show that only about 45% of graduates in India are considered employable. That means more than half, after spending years and a ton of money on education, are walking out without the basic skills they need to land their first job. Just let that sink in for a moment. And if we zoom in on engineering, the field that's supposed to be driving modern India forward, it gets even crazier. Nearly 80% of engineers don't have the specific hands-on skills that companies are desperately trying to hire for right now. And look, this isn't just a one-sided problem for the graduates. Let's flip the coin over. More than half of all companies say they are having a seriously hard time finding people with the right skills. They've got the money, they've got the job openings, but they just can't fill the seats. You see, it's a two-sided problem with this huge gap right in the middle. So what's the root cause of this whole mess? Well, think of it like a broken bridge. On one side, you have traditional education. It's all about theory, and the curriculum updates at a snail's pace. On the other side, you've got what the industry actually needs. People who can execute, in roles that are changing like every 6 months. That disconnect, that's the heart of the entire problem. Okay, so that all sounds pretty bleak, right? But this is exactly where the story takes a turn. Because inside every massive problem, every huge gap like this one, there's an equally massive opportunity for people who are paying attention. This isn't a dead end. It's a secret path for anyone who's smart and ambitious. So where's the real action? Where are these jobs? Well, they're in the high-tech fields, for sure. Companies are starving for people who are skilled in AI and machine learning, data analytics, cybersecurity, and modern cloud development. These aren't just buzzwords, They are the exact areas where the skill shortage is the worst and where the salaries are the highest. And the magic word here, the thing that changes everything, is applied skills. This has nothing to do with getting another degree or another certificate. It's about your ability to actually do stuff, to execute on real-world tasks. Can you build a functioning app? Can you analyze a data set and pull out real insights? It's not about just knowing the theory anymore. And you want to know the real secret? The thing most people miss? While everyone is fighting like crazy for degrees, less than 20% of learners actually take the next step and build real-world projects. Most people just stop at the certificate. That means the lane for people with applied skills is wide open. This is your chance. All right, so how do you actually grab this opportunity? It's not about just working harder inside the old, broken system. It's about using a whole new playbook. So here it is, a super clear, 4-step strategy to put yourself right in the middle of that gap where all the hiring is happening. This is your game plan, and it's really straightforward. First, stop just consuming courses and start creating projects. Build a real thing. Second, focus on learning the actual tools companies are using, not just the abstract concepts behind them. Third, use AI as your co-pilot. Seriously, it'll help you debug code or brainstorm ideas way faster. And last but not least, build your projects out in the open. Share them on LinkedIn or on your own portfolio website. And that first step, the one about building projects, it is an absolute game changer. The data clearly shows that people with a portfolio of real projects are 3 times more likely to get hired. And why is that? It's simple. A project is proof. It's hard evidence that you can actually do the work. What all this really points to is a massive cultural shift in how companies hire. They are becoming skill first, not degree first. They honestly care less about the name of the college on your resume and way more about what you can actually build for them on day one. Your ability to execute. That's the new currency. So, as we start to wrap this up, I want you to understand that this isn't just me reporting on the job market. This is about a choice, a really clear choice you get to make about how you want to build your own future. There's a really powerful way to look at all of this. The skill gap is not a limitation, it is a filter. It's basically a system that separates the people who have just learned something from the people who have learned how to apply it. It filters for the doers. At the end of the day, this is what the Indian economy is practically screaming for. Not just more people holding degrees. It needs more builders who can create new things, more thinkers who can strategize, and more problem solvers who can actually get things done. That's where the real value is now. And that leaves us with one final, pretty direct question. The world has already changed. The rules are different now. So, are you going to be someone who actively prepares for this new reality? Or are you just going to sit back and wait for the world to change back to the way it used to be? The choice really is yours. And that's our deep dive for today. Just so you know, all the data we talked about was put together from some really credible sources, like NASCOM, LinkedIn Workforce Insights, and other major industry studies. They all paint a super clear picture of both the challenge and, of course, the huge opportunity ahead.